This is the Human Rocket Sled Challenge. The first thing I'm going to do is just put some hand sanitizer on my hand just to make sure I do not get any germs over my hand. So the challenge of the Human Rocket Sled is to launch the front cart as far as possible. So you see behind me I've got 3 carts, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, and the goal is students will be sitting on these carts and pushing off of the carts in order to get that front cart to go the farthest, right? So just a couple of safety things. There's some rules just for safety is that when you're doing this, if you have like long hair, you're wearing baggy clothing or jewelry, just be cautious of where that is when the carts start to move. Also, where you place your hands, never place them on the front of the cart just because they're going to be lined up together, and that's where those carts are going to be hitting together. Also, don't put your fingers anywhere close to these wheels. You can put your hands here, but just make sure you keep them away from those wheels just because you don't want to get your hands caught in there. All right, so I'll go over the rules right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line these carts up just like they would on the day of launch. I might just line up 2, just the front 2, because the key is you want to get this front cart to go the farthest. All right, just make sure it's in frame. I'm going to put the second cart down right here. There we go. All right, so I'll bring the camera down just a little bit. Grab this. All right. So you can see here I've got the carts lined up, and what you're going to have to do is pretend that third cart is behind the other ones, because there will be someone on there pushing on cart 2. Cart 2 is going to be pushing on cart 1, and the goal is to make sure you get cart 1 to go the farthest. So here are the rules. So your goal is to make the first stage go the farthest distance, and it is a bit of a competition, right? That's why it's a challenge. Students will use 3 human dynamic carts as the stages of a rocket. So this is going to simulate a rocket. Up to 3 students total may be seated on the 3 carts. So these students must be strategically picked, right? So that's sort of up to a class to come up with that. Students may touch only the carts and other students on the carts. Well, we're going to eliminate the other students just in terms of safety because of these next rules. So no touching the floors, walls, lockers, bystanders, etc. Right? So only the carts. Let's see here. Students may only sit or lay on the carts, no standing, and cannot leave the cart at any time. Only the wheels of the cart may be in contact with the floor. All 3 carts must be lined up in a row. At least 1 student has to be on each cart, and there's a maximum of 1 student per cart. So it's only going to be 3 students in each of these launches, and we're going to have to strategically pick who that's going to be. And let's see, from the moment these carts are arranged at the start, you have 2 minutes to set up and launch, and I will let you know if it's safe, because I like to make sure that there's no fingers where they're not supposed to be, no hair, like just in terms of safety. All right. So we have a knowledge of momentum, impulse, and we already did a scaled down version of this. So the goal of this challenge is to get cart 1 to go the farthest. If you could pick 3 people from this class to place them on the cart, how would you pick them and where would you place them? So think back to the momentum carts, right? Who would I pick to go on these 3 carts, and why would I do that? Right? And the goal of this challenge is to get cart 1 to go the farthest. How would you tell those people to launch, right? So you have cart 3 pushing on cart 2. You're going to have cart 2 pushing on cart 1. Or if you have somebody flipped, maybe cart 1's pushing on cart 2 pushing. How would you tell them to launch? Like, what's the timing going to be with that? And the goal of this challenge is to get cart 1 to go the farthest. How could you instruct people on the cart on how to maximize the time the force is the cart that they are pushing against, right? So you're sitting on these carts, and you are going to be pushing, like you place your feet there, and you're going to be pushing cart 1, try to get it to go the farthest distance. I'm going to do it in the hallway where it's like a smooth floor, and I'm going to have the measuring tape out there, and we're going to compare to see how can we use momentum and impulse to get us to go the farthest. And the conclusion question is, why do rockets launch in stages when going to space? What variable does this decrease when they are launching? And once again, this is the human rocket sled challenge. Last thing I'm going to do, just put some hand sanitizer on my hand just to make sure I don't have any germs that I'm going to put anywhere else.